Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Dumelang absheni ralocha sanwanani molweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News Channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our community. Now, today we're tackling a topic that, if I'm being honest, feels like something straight out of an Only in South Africa scenario. Now, meet Wanatu, which is the new Afrikaans-Only e-hailing platform that has sparked major debates across the country. But here's the catch, right? The company's only hiring Afrikaans-speaking drivers, and it's available in Pretoria and Centurion, which, if we're being frank, is areas predominantly white, and let's face it, right, more inclined to be Afrikaans-speaking. So what message does this send to us Black South Africans? Now, as a Black South African myself, I think I've got to say that this situation raises some serious red flags. I mean, let's think about it for a second, right? We're in 2025, and we're still seeing the exclusion of Black people based on something as senseless as language. I mean, sure, right? Language is a huge part of any culture, and it's important to preserve it. But this feels like a step backwards. And it gets worse, right? Wanatu claims that it's offering permanent employment to 50 drivers and that it owns the cars. And they say their service is specifically for Afrikaans speakers, providing a niche service in Pretoria and Centurion. And while that may sound harmless on surface, when we break it down, it starts to look a lot more complicated, especially when you consider the historical context of Afrikaans in South Africa. I mean, after decades of struggle and sacrifice, we're still seeing this subtle form of exclusion. I mean, first it was Orania, where an entire town is set up for a specific group of people. And now we're seeing Wanatu openly say that if you don't speak Afrikaans, you won't be able to get a job driving for them. And this, to me, is a direct continuation of a mentality that wants to keep things separate, which is keep Black South Africans out. And honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing these attempts to segregate us again, even in the most subtle of ways. And I'll be honest, right? When I first heard about Wanatu and the Afrikaans-only policy, I wasn't shocked, but I was disappointed, right? Because here's a company claiming to offer job opportunities, but only to a specific group of people. And they've done this in the very same cities, which is Pretoria and Centurion, that have historically been areas of exclusion where Black South Africans were never fully accepted or even given equal opportunities. And now, in 2025, we're seeing the same thing play out in a new form. I mean, we've got to ask ourselves, why is Afrikaans still being used as a tool of segregation? Why is there always this unspoken divide when it comes specifically to the Afrikaans language? I mean, they claim that the people have to speak Afrikaans because, given that the Afrikaans speakers may struggle with other languages. But that's not enough to justify excluding people from employment based solely on their mother tongue. I mean, come on, right? We've all used e-hailing apps like Uber and Bolt, where communication between the driver and the passenger happens mostly through the app itself. So why is Afrikaans a requirement to drive for this platform? And we all know the history of language in South Africa. Afrikaans during apartheid was used to keep Black South Africans in their place. And it was the language of the oppressor and the language used in schools where we were all forced to learn in a tongue that we didn't speak. And now we're seeing Afrikaans being used again as a gatekeeper, but only this time it's not about education, but it's about employment. And look, right, I'm not saying that Afrikaans shouldn't be spoken or preserved. That's not what I'm saying. But when the very language that was once used to oppress is now being used to divide us again, we've really got to ask ourselves, are we really moving forward as a country? And more importantly, what kind of South Africa do we want to build? One where we create enclaves for one group, or one where we stand together as equals with respect for all languages and cultures? What are your thoughts on this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.